All right, let's welcome Fang Ying.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Okay, how many people do we have it here? All right, guys, let's get started for today's session. All right, welcome to tonight's live. All right, so before we start, just a reminder for tonight's session, right? Whatever we share, the content is only for educational purpose, right? They are not for financial advice, because MWA itself is not a regulated financial advisor or investment firm, and it's also not licensed or regulated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, right? So the information provided tonight by MWA, right, on this website or throughout any other platforms, right, is only for educational purpose and should not be constructed as financial advice. It is not a recommendation nor a solicitation to buy or sell any currency, product, security, or financial instrument. All right, so if you are clear on that, let's start tonight's session. All right, for tonight, I've actually done a little bit of homework to share with you guys, because if you've been watching the charts or you've been trading recently, right, we all know that July actually we had a very good performing month, right? Starting ever since the ceasefire in late June, right, entering July, we actually see a really good bull run, right, in many of the coins, especially for Bitcoin. Right, this kind of sparks the confidence in retail traders like me, all right, into the market. And we don't, but of course, on top of us, like the whales, the institutions are doing way before us, right? They have been buying, they've been holding on to the big cap coins with full confidence, right? So let's take a look, because we all know whenever we talk about the crypto market, the first thing we talk about is, because actually for this year, right, I believe we are all expecting, right, a proper bull run, right? But for the first 2 quarters of the year, the performance has been okay, but not fantastic. But finally, starting of season 3, right, we are seeing the hope. In fact, if we look back in 2025 alone until this very day, right, if you read the news, you will realize actually the investors, especially the ETF institutions, they have already poured in over 50 billion of fiat money into US spot, which is mainly the big cap ones, Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? And with that, after all this month's accumulation, right, this month, at the early July, we finally see a bullish movement in Bitcoin. It finally break through the 110,000 price point, right, after so many tries since beginning of 2025, right, until this very day. And this week, we are actually sitting around the 120,000 price point, and we can see after the breakthrough, the price point is currently stabilizing, right, doing a little bit of consolidation here, right? So after this consolidation, is it gonna have a pullback or continue to go up? We don't know yet. But let's just do a little bit of market analysis, right, to see for the next few months or next few weeks after this bullish movement, what is supposed to be prepared for, right? What is your game plan? Like, you can structure for yourself for the next few months to maximize or to see the better returns in if you are invested in crypto or if you are simply a trader, right? So as I said, right, over the year of 2025 up to now, with the 50 billions of cash inflow, right, we can actually see it align with Bitcoin's price movement in terms of the dominance of the market. Because as we all know, right, Bitcoin comes with a market cap of 2.3 trillion, right? And with 50 billions pumped in, right, we can see the dominance level has reflect that much of inflow, right? If we look at the market itself, market dominance of Bitcoin, right, we do actually see the 2% increment in terms of the market dominance, right? But good thing is after the pump, right, these few days, we can actually see a correction of the price. And in fact, it's going back down, right? This, if let's say, if we see a Bitcoin price drop and also the dominance percentage drop, right, then it will actually give us a bearish kind of signal and a bit of fear, because you would think, okay, common sense, right? If let's say the cash is flowing out of the market, we are knowing that people are taking profit and abandoning this market itself, right? But the fact that even despite the dominance of Bitcoin is dropping, the price is still holding okay, stabilizing, right? It shows that the money has not left the market. And where did it go, right? Simply, we can track the money flow to other slightly bigger caps, right? Now, when we talk about crypto market, the big cap tokens, first thing we thought is Bitcoin. And then next one we're thinking is, the first thing naturally comes to our mind is actually Ethereum, right? So as you can see, right, as Bitcoin's dominance percentage is dropping, right, Ethereum is actually going up. So naturally, we can see where the money is flowing to, right? Is some of the money is exiting Bitcoin and flow into Ethereum, right? So you can see it's a very healthy, very strong pump in Ethereum itself. And other than Ethereum, there are also other altcoins that is, like you see, basically if you look at the total tree, that means all the other altcoins other than BTC and Ethereum and stablecoin, right? It has also been going up. So we can see Bitcoin price is not dropping and the dominance percentage is dropping, but the money did not exit the market and instead they float to the altcoins, which actually give us a very good sign to the possibility of entering the alt season, right? Because it's typical in the bull market that during the first phase, of course, Bitcoin will first attract most of the money, right? It will have the biggest movement first, right? But knowing that it's only natural after Bitcoin reaching a psychological level that people want to take profit or just secure their profit a little bit and take out their capital so that they can put it into somewhere else for a potentially higher return, right? Then naturally we will enter the gameplay usually will just naturally go along with the path to the altcoin season, right? So after Bitcoin, right, we are actually seeing cash flowing into Ethereum, right? And also after Ethereum, alongside with Ethereum, like as a transit period, you will see the phase 3 where the money flow into a large cap, right? So for this month, this week's movement, you can actually see that happening already, right? Ethereum is going up, the dominance percentage is also going up, but Ethereum is not alone, right? There are also some of the large cap altcoins also growing. And when we talk about large cap, simply we are talking about large cap, right? So if you look at the tokens in terms of market cap size, right? Other than Ethereum, we have XRP, BNB, Solana, right? And if you look at the weeks for the past 7 days, the percentage of price movement, right? You can see it reflected there, right? Ethereum grow up 20%, then XRP go up 29%, and Solana go up 8%, right? And Bitcoin, BNB go up by 10%, right? So it's all aligned, right? The money, some went for Ethereum, some went to the big cap. So in a way, we can see that okay, right now we are somewhere in between that phase 2 or phase 3 already, right? So based on this information, right, if it's me, I will know how am I gonna play my game in my portfolio for the next few weeks, right? Because right now, although the cash is flowing into it, but we haven't seen the Ethereum hitting a psychological high price point yet. Right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that previously Ethereum already tested the 4K times price mark, right? So if you look at this, chances are, right, we're expecting Ethereum to maybe psychologically, I would expect Ethereum to hit maybe 4K, right? Then after that, if it hit 4K, then if for me, for my holdings, probably I will take profit around this price point. And by then, and also know that in market, there's like millions of retail investors just like me, right? So when we take out the profit from Ethereum, right, then we will probably be looking to other altcoins to put the money in, right? So if we look at the movement of the it's a bit lagging. Yeah, so that's why, as you can see here, if you look at the altcoin season index, we are not fully there yet. We are somewhere in the middle. So it's not officially start. So it means for my game plan, I'm pretty confident in it. So once I take my full profit from Ethereum, right, that's the time when I look at altcoins. And that's, in a way, we follow the flow, right? That's how the market works also, right? Then there's a point where we look at the altcoins selections. But of course, then it comes with one simple question, right? If I were to invest in altcoins, which other narratives I want to enter, right? Because if let's say by far, if we look at this, right, we can simply look at coin market cap. We can see apart from the big caps, apart from the Ethereum, right, you can already see some of the narratives are attracting more attentions compared to the rest, right? Basically, the fire sign shows that apart from Ethereum, right, the other tokens or narratives that has gained a good growth over the past week is meme coin, of course, right, and also AI and RWA. So for me, simply, if I were to do a simple planning after I exit from Ethereum, right, what are the next altcoins I'm gonna focus on is simply probably AI, RWA. And if you look at the growth of the tokens, hold on, let me find the chart somewhere. Sorry, I opened too many tabs. Let me find the one I want to show you. Yeah, so if we look at the market cap growth for the past 1 week carefully, right, zoom in a little bit, we can see that among the small why still let they look first. Yeah, so if you look closely, right, look at the small tabs, right, you can see actually apart from the it's lagging a little bit, right? So if we can see, right, apart from AI and RWA, right, then another sector that narrative that actually gain a lot of attention or growth is actually layer ones, right? And among those layer ones, you can see it's not just the established older layer ones like ADA, right? We also see some growth in the very relatively newer layer ones, right? Like Sui and Hyperliquid, right? So those are like the layer ones just pop out this cycle, and they have very good, technology and fundamental behind them, and users, like they have like strong community and users, right? So for me, simply, if I were to share like personally how I plan my gameplay for the next few weeks or months, is simply, first off, I want to do my best to write the full increment in the Ethereum, all right? And then after that, I will start to move my spot position into large caps, right? Then followed by other altcoins like AI and RWA, all right? So for that, okay, wait, let me look at the chat. Are you able to see? Okay. Do we have? Okay, hold on, sorry. Okay, are they? Okay, guys, if you're in this live session, can you type something in the chat box? I can't see the comment.
All right, chat, type A
Oh,
if
chat is
you.
here. Sorry. Sorry, all this while I was looking at private chat. I was like, I don't see any comments.
No
All right,
worries.
guys,
Comment
I
A
see
if you're
comments.
excited for the altcoin season.
I'm so sorry. Okay, guys. Okay. Oh, guys. Yeah, so nice. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. All this while I was like, oh, this chat is so quiet. Okay. Okay. Hi, guys. Good evening. All right. Hi, David. Okay. Thanks. All right. So sorry about it. Sorry, I'm really new to this stream thing. Okay, let me just shift the chat box here so I can see. All right, guys. For tonight, right? Basically what I do is simply I'm gonna do like a market analysis, right? Because I'm pretty sure after the past 2 weeks, all the excitement, and I hope if you are a trader or investor, I hope y'all caught some good opportunity because I did, right? This Monday, I woke up really happily, right? And always remember take some profit, right? But if you did not, secure enough position in the past few months, right? This session is also to, help you to sort of like get a reassurance to make sure, we don't FOMO, right? We also don't, enter or take the wrong path, right? Because we want to invest smartly, right? Because actually, if you look at this path, like this map here, right, we are still at a relatively early stage, right? In assumption of there is really a bull cycle coming in, all right, we can still, there are still months, many more weeks for us to ride and enjoy this whole phase, right, till end of the year, right? Maybe not like end, but at least next 2 to 3 months, there are still plenty of time and opportunities for us to take action, like at least for me, right? Take the right action, right, to maximize our profit, to gain as much as possible from this wave. All right, if you're interested or you want to ride this kind of wave, or you already did, okay, do type something in the chat box, let me know, right? Do you take good profit from Monday after Tuesday? Anyone holding Ethereum and already see, like, you bought a dip around 1.8k 1.9k back then, right, earlier this year, right, and now you see a 100% gain in your portfolio? Okay, I see some questions. Okay, hold on, let me scan through the okay, Andrew asks how to identify AI and RWA coin. All right, AI basically is artificial intelligence, and RWA is real world asset. These two narrative has been the hot narratives, right, since beginning of this cycle, right? And how do we identify whether what coin is belong to narrative? Simply, right, you just go to coin market cap, right? That's our like Wikipedia of crypto, right? If you don't know what's belong to AI or RWA, simply you just go to the categories, right? Where for this case, because these two are already hot narratives, you don't even need to click in, right? But just to show you, if you were to search, you just click into the category tab here, all right? And from here, you can actually choose. It's a bit slow. Really sorry, it's a bit laggy, I think, because of the live. Anyway, right? So by right, if you click here, you can choose. Okay, anyway, right? If let's say I choose category, right? You simply just scroll down, right? So for example, if you want to know what are the tokens under AI, what are the tokens under RW real world asset, we just simply click in to the individual narrative, and then you will see what are the tokens inside. And it's listed based on the market cap. So you have the all the tokens listed from big to small. All right. But if let's say this is how you find, sorry. Wait, I think it's, wait, hold on. It came up, wait, hold on. Okay, never mind. So assume, let's say we want to, see what are the hot coins in the hot narrative under AI, right? We just click into this. Yeah. Okay, good. So by right, if you click into the right category, you can see, do you see the gray section here? Right, it shows you all AI and big data category. And then under this category, then you will see what token belongs to this narrative, right? So for example, AI, right? Personally, I quite like Tau. I mean, if you, any of you here is from MWA, right? If you are from MWA and you are elite, then you should know, like recently, I think 3 weeks ago, I just did a project deep dive on Tau. And Near, we also did it not long ago, right? So yeah, this is how you find based on the narrative, right? But if let's say you come across this token, but you don't know what is this token about, then very simply, you just go to the search button in the coin market cap, right? Then you search the name of the token, right? For example, if let's say I want to search, okay, I come across this token. Maybe I saw people talking about it on YouTube or other platforms, right? But I don't know what is this project about, right? People are talking about Panda, saying it's a very good project, right? Then I can simply search Panda, right? And then we go to the details of it. It's the yeah. So you can see, right, from the tag, it tells you it's a real world asset. Right? That's how you find the token based on narrative, or find allocate the narrative of the particular token based on the token you see or come across itself. Okay, this part understand? Does it help, Indra? Sorry, my okay. Let's be slow. Okay, the comment also taking forever to load. Hold on. Okay, all right, good. Welcome. Okay, and Aja saying spot still holding some. Okay, spot of what still holding some, right? Because, right, like I said, right, if we want to plan our game accordingly, right, I hope you are holding on to the altcoins or Ethereum. Bitcoin, Bitcoin is like a lifetime asset, right? We can even pass down to generations, right? But spot wise, if you are holding the right coin, then good for you. Yeah. Okay, our ops today is Malik. Malik is asking if you have taken some profit, right? Do type P, right? I know I did. Let me type it. I can't type. Okay, never mind. Okay. There's this very long name, Demure Mango Stick. Okay, Demure Mango Stick. Okay, might need to speed up the YouTube video to catch up. You're talking about our educational YouTube video or Bitcoin, Solana? Good. Solana had XRP. Okay, great. XRP just announced. Yeah, everybody was actually expecting Solana ETF to come after, right? But XRP out of blue, right? Today, there's one ETF suddenly got announced, and the price just, it looks really beautiful today, right? Let's look at XRP. Right, it did a good run. Yeah. Okay, that's a nice growth, right? Yeah, good for you if you're holding XRP. We are seeing it actually already hitting it already exceeded the previous all-time high, 3.4, right? Now it's moving to 3.5. What's the highest point? Today, it actually, it has reached 3.66. Good job. Okay. Are you holding XRP are you the batch that's gonna hold the XRP for $10? Yeah, yeah, don't worry guys, there's a slight lag. Okay, get it? Okay. Oh yeah, holding for 3.8. Oh, nice. That's a very, very not greedy profit point, 3.8. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Let's hope. Maybe, who knows? Today is Friday, right? Usually Friday, either it, do a last pump or it just, stabilize. So then over the weekend, we do a bit of correction. Then who knows? Maybe tonight or Monday morning, you wake up, you already hit your take profit point. Yeah. Yeah, of course, it's always important to take some profit along the way, right? Especially if you bought your XRP like below $2, right? Actually, by now you already have like 1.75, like 175% of profit, right? Always good to take some and de-risk a bit. Yeah, let's see, right? Yeah, so just now as I was talking, I was mentioning like for the past 1 week, right? We can see apart from the Ethereum, the rest of the large caps, right, that has been pumping very well is meme coin. Of course, always there's a hype, right? Whenever market recover, there's a good news. Meme coin, especially those with very strong community or very strong like VCs backing it, right, really do very well, right? But if we talk about personally, I'm not a big fan of meme coin, right? So when I invest, I prefer to go. I evaluate my sport portfolio like how I evaluate like business, right? So I prefer something that actually runs with like functions, with actually utilities behind it. So personally, I am a big fan for AI and RWA, right? And as I mentioned also, right, apart from these two narratives, another narrative that actually did very well this week was actually layer ones, right? So all layer ones, right? You can just think about it, right? If retail investor were to come back, right, there are very more, people who bother to do more research, right? Go to deep dive into newer layer one project like Sui, like Ep10, right? They want to know, they know more, and then they see the potential in the new project. But there are also some more conservative kind of retail investors, right? To them, it will always be a good idea to invest in those established layer ones that has been, alive since life cycle, and until this very day, there's still people using it. They still have like strong user base, right? In terms of like if in a business perspective, right, they are still running. They still have positive cash flow. People like more like traditional kind of investors or more conservative kind of investors, they will prefer to invest in slightly more older projects compared to those two new ones, right? That's why we see Cardano, right, and BNB actually did very well, right? Okay, so yeah, so that's what was my viewpoint for the market. And simply my plan I already mentioned is I'm still waiting for a full take profit point from Ethereum, right? Because same as Rashid, I have been taking some profit along the way. In fact, 3.5K that time I already traded most, I would say, let's say half, like about 35% of my position, right? The remaining ones I'm holding and see whether there's a chance for it to reach 4K or not, right? But after that, right, after I take my profit, I need to know, I need to have a plan ahead. Where do I want to go next, right? Because there are benefits of investing in slightly bigger cap altcoins because, as I said, in terms of the history or in terms of the functionality, in terms of user base, they are more established, right? Chances of them out of blue just suddenly stop running as a business is lower, right? Places like layer ones like Cardano has been there for like 8 years, 9 years, right? But of course, there are also beauty in those slightly newer altcoins, right? Layer ones, because for them, they are, in terms of market cap, they are still relatively smaller, right? So in terms of the potential gain, right, could be higher, right? Like you can see relatively stronger layer ones, the new layer ones like Sui, right, has actually shown a very nice price recovery these few weeks, right? Right now it's actually turning into a uptrend movement. If you have learned TA, right, if you are one of our students, right? So for those tokens, right, are the ones I will focus on in the next few weeks, right? But also one thing is, this is the general direction of my movement, but short term, right? One thing just to remind everybody, right? Like I mentioned just now, today's purpose, firstly, we do a bit of market analysis, right? But also serves a reminder, right? To remind everyone not to get too excited and don't FOMO, okay? Because one thing we need to look at is actually at this moment, we can see, right? Just because, for the past about 2 weeks, right, the market is doing very well. The fear and greed index actually flew also, right? Right now we're sitting at a 71 range, right? And we all know, I think we mentioned many times, anywhere above 77, 78, that means when you reach above 80 range, right, there will be the point we consider it as the investors are extremely greedy, right? The sentiment is gonna be a bit unhealthily high, right? So always try to take profit as we are approaching that. Right now it's 71, right? Still got some room to run, right? But to be more conservative, right, maybe somewhere around 75, 76 and above, I might want to start to exit some of the position, because we all remember, right, especially if you are experienced trader, at least from or join us since 2023, right? I'm pretty sure we all have experienced how year 2024 goes, and history not exactly the same, but it tends to repeat itself, right? Pretty similarly, right? When the market is super hyped, everyone is super greedy, right? We all, for a very volatile asset like crypto, right? What can happen is flash dump, right? Anyone been trading or investing in crypto since last year, right? Do y'all see the flash dump at the beginning of the year, like in February or last year, end of the year, or 2023 end of the year, or January 2024? Anyone experienced that before? Like the price suddenly shoot down and then recover fast, but there will be a long week that wipe off a lot of futures trading position, right? And if you see the liquidation like map, the volume is scarily high, right? That's when a lot of people who just hold on and hoping for, 200% profit, and ends up, when you are just new, right? You look at 180% profit, you'll be like, okay, let's ride it to 200%. And then next morning you wake up, you realize it actually went down. Oh, thanks you there. Yeah, you are definitely OG. You joined for quite a while, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all been there, done that, right? You see, like almost, like say 99% of profit, right? Next moment, oops, suddenly he stop loss, right? That happens. So for my slightly longer term plan for, let's say, August, September, right, is go as I mentioned just now, right? But of course, always remember to take profit along the way, right? But short term for the remaining of July, right? That means next week, I will be very, very cautious, especially if I'm holding. I mean, spot is fine, right? I'm holding on to the coins I have high conviction in. But if you hold a long position, right? Even if you just open the position at last week, all right, now because haven't reached your desired take profit point, right? You want to hold. But if because today is Friday, we don't know what will happen during the weekend. Weekend usually is not, like, the volume is usually not so high because institutions are not trading, right? Usually it's just retail investors or some whales, right? But weekend sometimes also could be a good opportunity for them to manipulate the market, right? Because altcoin, if the market cap is not so big, it can be manipulated rather easily, right? But there's also a chance Monday morning we wake up, oops, a correction, right? I'm not saying that I have a crystal ball. I expect, I foresee it happen on Monday, right? It might not be Monday. Could be Wednesday, could be another Friday, right? But just that for next week, please be extra cautious when you are trading or you are still holding on to a long position, right? Like Rashid said, right? Take some along the way, right? If you are already in good profit, right? Like if you are in those like 10, 20% up. For example, okay, I already did profit, but like previously I was really, really, really bullish in Sui, right? Because it did well, right? But I think yesterday, Wednesday, yeah, I did my profit because, when it's at a resistance point, right, there's always a chance for me to re-enter. If we break out later, then I can aim for a higher point, right? But meanwhile, right, can it go higher? Possible, right? But if we get a correction, right, and pump back up, then I'll feel more comfortable to long again. But for now, because I entered last week, I think somewhere around here. Yeah. So for me, this 20%, 28% of profit is good enough. So I was more than happy when I closed the position with a good profit. Right. So for next week, generally, all this information and all this, cash flow that I'm seeing, right, it gives me a very high conviction that, at least for me, I'm having the assumption that a bull movement is coming, right? So for next few months, generally, I'm very, very bullish in terms of the market movement. But just want to remind everybody for next week, right, or over this weekend, start from this Friday, right, start to be very, very careful. Do take some profit and secure your position. Okay, we want to laugh until the end of the month, right? So for me, I was just earlier today, I was sharing with Coach Bernard, right? For each of my account, right, actually just secure, like Monday, I secured I secured a 5-digit profit. It will be really, really, really funny. It will make me such a joke if at the end of the month, I don't see that much in my account. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, that's my chat box. Okay, one. Right, so that's my analysis for the market movement and my expectation and my game plan for the next few weeks, right, until few months. All right. So now let's start the official AMA session. Anyone have any question regarding, any particular token or any particular portfolio planning, you want to, double check, right, and seek for advice? Or if not, do you have any tokens you want to go through together, right? Simply just type the name of the token here. Andrew's institutions are off on weekends, but sometimes got huge movement. Wondering who are whales that move it to, whales. And to your, not to your surprise lah. Actually, some tokens, right, because the market cap is not even that big, it doesn't even take that much or that many a wheel to move it, right? Sometimes just a small group of people can pump and dump a token over the weekend. And that's the time they like to go hunting. Okay, I start to see questions coming in. FRAXUSDT. Okay. Oh, wow. What token is this? Okay, I have not seen or heard of this token before. Seth, can you share with us a bit what is this token about? Or let me search it in CoinMarketCap while waiting for your answer. Oh, and why, like what is your thinking or idea or conviction into this token? Right. Oh, wow, it's really laggy. Wow. And then, okay, so this is a DeFi project under Solana ecosystem. Well, okay, for ecosystem token, right? Like, as I mentioned just now, right? Like, for example, now we know that most of the, okay, at least half of the cash is flowing from Bitcoin to Ethereum, right? So, of course, apart from Ethereum itself, we can also focus on Ethereum ecosystem token like Arbitrum or OP, right? So same for Solana. Now Solana is doing well, right? The ecosystem might also benefit, right? Whatever token that's inside the ecosystem might also benefit from it, right? As we can see here, right? From 18, which let's see a daily chart this week. For this Frax itself, right? Actually, it did right along with Solana, right? There's how many? Let's see how many percent that. Oh wow. Well, the highest it pumped about 50%. But so in terms of fundamental analysis / the market analysis, right? We know that if this token is riding together with Solana ecosystem, right, they have the advantage. But if we talk about technical analysis, this token I don't really like how, in fact, if the price movement look like this, that means the volume is very low. That's why the price movement is very abrupt. Does it look any better in other exchange? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so if you look at the Gate.io, right? Gate.io probably have more. I guess it's because the trading volume here is a bit better, right? So the chart looks more healthy compared to just over the I can't remember so if you look at the Gate.io, right, at least we can see the chart properly. So same thing after, like earlier, since his weight, it actually went up 40%, 45%, right? But can you share a bit more about this project? I know it's a DeFi project, but what's so special about Frax, and what do you love about it? Wait, you are asking FRAX or FXS or both? FXS, is it? So it's not FRAX, huh? Different token. This one looks way better. Okay. So I assume just now was a typo, right? FXS. I think sounds familiar. This is token about, let's see. Wait, so it got rebranded. Previously it was FXS. Is it still listed on Binance? It is, right? Okay. So Binance is still named as FXS, is it? How to know what narrative it's on? Aaron, just as already shared. So basically, when you search for a token in CoinMarketCap, right? If you scroll down, they actually show you what is narrative it's under, right? So for this one, you can see it's a DeFi, right? So any other token, for example, Dogecoin, right? So if you don't know what Dogecoin, like what narrative does Dogecoin belong to, right? Then simply we search Doge, we type Doge and search, and then you can see the tag. It will tell you that it's a meme coin. Okay. Okay, so FXS, if let's say we look at this chart, it looks much better. I mean, it's listed on Binance, right? The price has been there. Okay, yeah. Okay, so personally, I don't know about this project. So if you don't mind typing, right, do share with us what do you love or what's so special, and if you did a project deep dive, right, what do you love? What is the commission or confidence you have in FXS, right? In terms of technical analysis wise, right, if we just let me turn off the okay, much better. Now we can look at the full chart, right? If you look at the technical wise, right, apparently it has just had a very bullish run, right? Same thing, it pumped up across the 200 MA already, right? And now the very next resistance is around $4.2 about here, right? If it go past this, but ultimately sorry, ultimately the resistance I see is around $5, right? If it continue to pump through, right, then we can see it's gonna be a very nice triple top bottom and breakthrough, and then the upside is much bigger here. And so the all-time high was since last year. Is it a old coin? Yeah, let's see. How long has it been? Oh, not really. Okay, so it's been around since 2022. Okay, and the all-time high was okay. So it pumped at the launch at when it got listed, and now we are looking at recent the major resistance was about $10, right? So this is the kind of token. If we pick up, right, we are seeing a double, right? That means a potential like potential doubling of profit, right? Do you type anything about FXS? Okay, Seth, are you in MWA? If you do share this token with if the community, like what do you like, why out of all the DeFi project, why FXS? Okay, I really never heard of this. Okay, let me note this down. Let me probably do a deep dive into this project. Interesting. Wait, let me highlight this. Okay, later after this session, right, before I go to sleep, maybe I will just do a research on this project, see if I find a hidden gem. Okay, let's move on. Okay, sorry, let me scroll back a little bit. I think I missed quite a bit of MNT, long week dump. 加油，加油。MNT. Okay. Long week dumped. Oh, okay, well. Well. Okay, yeah, it's quite a bit of drop, but if you look at the daily chart, we zoom out to a slightly bigger time frame, right? It's pretty obvious, right? It just hit a very major resistance level around 83 cents ish, right? Can you see here? Previously, it was a support, then it became a resistance, has been tested quite a few times. So, and somehow at this very moment, it sort of aligned with the 200 MA on daily chart. So if it hit a resistance and it, got rejected and dropped quite a bit, it's something we actually pretty commonly seen, right? But although this one, you can see if we talk about throughout the day, now it's only like not even 10, right? So this daily candle haven't closed, but you can see, right, it's actually doing a doji. So you can actually see a war here. The buyers and sellers are actually fighting among this candle, right? So did it drop a lot? Yes, right, but it also recovered pretty strongly, right? Then you can see actually there are buyers. So in terms of the price movement, right, if later on it recovers from here, right, and this could turn into a green candle, right, or maybe, who knows, maybe later at the end of the day when it closes, it can actually even break above the 200 MA, right? Then it will show a more bullish movement. Right now, obviously, at least at this very moment, 10 hours before the candle close, I'm seeing a rejection. Okay. Also, if let's say the price movement is so volatile, you look back at the history, right? This token, does it do this kind of long week all the time? Right, from the past, actually, if you look at the left, actually you can see, right, the price movement, it does happen, like long weeks happen both up and down, right? That means the price, this token when it comes to price movement is quite volatile, right? So if this is a characteristic of the token, personally, Mental itself actually is a widely, in a way, is used by platforms, right? It's quite tied to like Bybit, right? If you do like staking or airdropping on Bybit, you actually always receive Mental, right? So, but if you look at the price movement, I wouldn't say it's a very healthy. Not say unhealthy, but it's relatively volatile. So this is a kind of token. Personally, if I want to trade, I will trade on spot. I won't trade on futures, right? Because I don't want to get wicked up, right? I don't want the wick touch my stop loss. Okay. Hope that answers. But are you looking for mentor for, okay, sorry guys. If you are looking for trading, right, then just type the token name with a P, okay, like mentor.p, right? If you're looking for spot, then you just type mentor itself, okay? Otherwise, like, I might be analyzing for the wrong purpose. Okay, faith, CRO. CRO is the okay, CRO be moving good, right? Actually, it already broke this resistance, right? Can see around this level, 105, 0.105-ish, right? It broke above, also broke above the 200 MA, right? On daily chart, it's actually showing a quite good bullish movement. And then, yeah, and then very next resistance is around here. Oh, actually tonight, you realize a lot of coin is actually at their very crucial period. But then again, today is Friday, so if we don't trade on weekend, then Monday when you come back and look at the chart, everything might look differently. But at least for now, right? Honestly, if this is a Thursday, I might want to wait for this token. You can see, right now this is actually a next resistance. So if tonight it closed above, right, then to me it's showing a much more bullish movement, right? If this tonight close below, right, or 10 red event, right, then I might need to wait for Monday, Tuesday and see what is the next movement, right? Because apparently if it break above, right, then we are looking for this price area, right? Even if you look at the next resistance, the nearest also about here already, right? But if we close below, then hard to say, right? Then the possibility could be it start to get rejection. Does it bounce here or bounce lower? I don't know. Yeah, because then there will be more possibilities. Oops. Yeah. Okay. All right. See how what is this token? It sounds familiar. It looks very familiar. What is this token about? What's the narrative? David, any potential for Ondo to grow? Ondo actually, honestly, I'm quite a fan. Like for RWA, right? Ondo was one of the token. I think in my portfolio. Although yeah. Okay, if you look at daily chart, actually Ondo looks not bad also. Same thing today or let's say next Monday or Tuesday, quite crucial, right? So it already broke above the 200 MA, but we can see here, obviously we have a resistance, right? It will be nice if next candle or today's candle could close above. If not, then I'll wait for next week. But generally, this price movement looks good because you can see here, right? We are seeing actually a double bottom, right? If it goes above, then the upside is same as just now that token, right? It's actually quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, and that this whole, yeah, so we're looking for potential upside to here, $2 plus, right? Of course, along the way there are small resistance here and there, right? But if you get rejected, then similar to just now, then we need to see when, where, and when did they get a proper support before going up again. Maybe here. So I see possibility if this weekend remain bullish till next Monday, then this one looks very strong. If it does go down a little bit and go up, then I'll wait for it. Potential for Ondo to grow, I think there's potential. Ondo is one of the project I did study in and then I did invest in as well. Can tell the coin in Solana ecosystem. Just now the FX is it? Yeah. 加油 Dogecoin. I mean, honestly, Doge. Personally, I will not invest in Doge because being one of the very when I talk about big cap tokens, right? Doge, even though it's like the top 10 like market cap token, but it's never in my consideration to invest in it. I'm not that kind of community like that has that high of a conviction or confidence or enthusiasm in Dogecoin. All right. To me, meme coin is meme coin. Okay, Nording, Jasmine. Let's see. Yeah, Jasmine also reaching the very crucial point, right? around 0.205. I think in the trade sorry, what's it? Discord. In the Discord, I think we have a weekly trade call on it, right? Waiting for Jasmine to break up somewhere around 0.2 cent, 0.2035, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So similarly, right? Actually, you can see what happened is after July the pump, right? Because previously, right, all the price after the new year down until now, right, most of the token has been trading below the 200 MA for the longest period of time already, right? So even though yes, July did well, right, but what happened is if you look closely, I mean now it's only third week of July, still too early to tell. Maybe last week still pump a bit more, but what happened after the past like 10 days of bullish movement is it only actually sort of like brought every token back to, back from the bottom line, right? Because previously we are literally seeing a bottom, right? So what we see generally in most of the tokens similarly is that they are actually saying like forming just exit the bottom, right? Now we are actually all more or less sitting at a major resistance. As I said, if more token, right? If more funds flow into altcoin, right, this will fly, right? Not say Jasmine will fly, but all coin in general will fly, right? But as I also mentioned, right, the money doesn't flow so fast into the small cap altcoins, right? So even if it were to flow, maybe slightly bigger cap altcoins, right? Those top 20s, right? If you look at the range, right, we have a lot. I mean, there are more coins the money will flow into first compared to the smaller. But Jasmine is not it's like a mid cap, right? But if you look at the, excluding all the stable coin, right, the money still need to, because honestly, the crypto game is all about a money rotation, right? It just exited Bitcoin, it rotate to Ethereum, and then it rotate to XRP, BNB, Solana, then we still got a lot more behind, right? Like after top 10, then we move on to maybe top 20, right? Like ADA, Hyperliquid, XRM, Sui, Link. You see, Sui literally just got into the top 20 already, right? So if it's me, right, after top 10 is done, I will probably look at top 20, then top 30, so on and on, right? So if you're looking at a relatively smaller cap or mid cap, right, will it go up eventually? Yes, but the timing matters, right? If let's say, right, if at the end of the week or end of the month, there's not enough volume or cash to push it, through the resistance and pump higher, right? Then we also no need to rush, right? Just focus on other coin first. Even if let's say you get rejected here and go down, right? It could be just another consolidation phase, right? So then if let's say generally if we look at this, right, even if it gets rejected, go up, down, even if it got rejected here, we can just wait for another, if it doesn't break here, is there a possibility that next week it break here? Possible, right? But if it doesn't, right, then just wait for the next opportunity to break above, right? So no rush, because if you're looking for a relatively smaller or not so hyped narrative token now, right, the chances are it might take longer. But assume that bull market is really coming at the end of the day, right? Most of the token that more have potential, right, should have their time will come eventually. Okay, any more question? Jia Yu, which time frame I trade? For me personally, for day trade, I do 1 hour time frame, right? Then spot, of course, I do on daily. Can I explain how I normally set entry, TP, or stop loss in spot trading? All right, so for me, very simple. If let's say this there's a particular token I have high conviction in, like for example, let's say SUI. All right, so SUI, first of all, we zoom out, right? So previously, for spot trading, is actually for me is really not that complicated. It's most of the time for me it's just supply resistance, simple as that, right? So be it overall, I see a potential of going up, right? Actually, trading spot and trading futures, that isn't really a, very, very distinguished difference to me, right? I simply do support and resistance, right? So if for me, this particular token, there are two ways I can trade on spot. If I'm a long-term holder, there are tokens I've been holding since like long time, like since last year, right? Bought like at very low price, right? But if let's say I did take profit earlier, then I need to look for a rate entry, right? Then I simply wait for a good support zone. Like for example, if we look at SUI, look at the daily chart. Where's my box? Yeah, so from the past, right, it's pretty clear that this is a good support zone, right, before the pump, right? Can see that? Right, so if let's say previously I bought at low price and then I exited when I got the profit I'm happy with, right? For rate entering, obviously I'm looking for entry that as low as possible when it's around the support, the resistance level, the support level, right? So if we draw from the past, then anywhere around this range will be somewhere I look at for a entry. All right, then for take profit, then simply we just look back to the past, right? Like for example, I find this resistance here, right? Then that could be my take profit. For me, I don't have a fixed percentage for taking profit, right? Then if I trade this way, then simply I got about 50-60% of profit, which I'm pretty sure I'm happy with, right? Then if I exit there, then simply I look for the next opportunity when it hit the support area again, which is around this price point, right? But because this one only dip in a little bit, I don't know whether or not I can catch, right? But if I get to get going at that price point, that'll be very good for me. Okay, so for me, support and resistance is really, really very straightforward. I don't even need EMAs, right? For me, spot is really, really purely just a support resistance game. I just do my drawing and then plan accordingly, right? Then that's one way to rate enter if it's a project I've been monitoring, right? I like to trade on or I have high conviction in. I like to accumulate as and when it's at a discounted price, right? But if I'm simply know that, okay, this token perform very well, right? But it's not in my spot portfolio. That means this narrative, for example, for me, my spot, I don't do any layer one narrative. So if I were to do a buy spot here, that means I'm simply trading this token, right? Then two ways. One is of course buy support, sell resistance. Then another one is same thing, I draw a resistance, right? And then I enter when the price break above, and then I expect it to go higher up. Then let's say now it break the resistance, then my next targeted profit is next resistance. So it's within this range, right? But this is usually, if this is the case, right, I will be trading futures instead of spot. Unless this token itself, I like to trade, but the movement is like mental just now, right? It's very wiki. It's not suitable for futures trading with leverage. Then I might consider doing this. But personally, for spot, I would say for my spot portfolio, I'm still considered a trader. I don't hold most of my tokens forever. I take profit as and when I'm happy with it, right? But at least whatever token is within my spot, That means I replenish them after I sold them off, right? Those are tokens that more or less I will monitor along the way. So for example, Sui, right? At least I know at what price point I want to buy. So ideally, I want to buy as support, right? Breakout trade. Honestly, this kind is more, to me personally, I would prefer to trade on futures. Does that answer your question? And for my spot trading, personally, I do not set stop loss because for the spot position I hold, as I mentioned, are the coins belong, like, I really did my study in. I have high conviction in, right? So those are the tokens I might hold for, I don't mind holding for a longer term. I don't really hold a lot of high risk token in my spot portfolio. Okay, David. LT. Notice I'm less active in the big funder group recently. Okay, will I resume posting as often like before? Okay, as I said, right, like, actually, honestly, this week, right, I don't even want to trade because Monday I literally locked 13K profit in 2 accounts, like 6.5K each. So honestly, to me, it's like, why would I want to trade if I already hit my, target profit point, right? So honestly, for me, even for the past 2 days, if I were to look at trades and posts, it's actually just to sort of like to stay active, to stay committed in the group chat, right? Otherwise, personally, I'm really happy with the profit. I don't even want to take extra risk because, as I said, right, at the end of the month, I want to withdraw the 5-digit profit, right? So to me, it's like it doesn't make sense if I still take unnecessary risk, right? Especially after the pump, right? You really don't know, right, when will the correction come, right? To me, any trade I take after Monday, right, it's just very extra, and I'm like dragging myself into it, right? I don't really enjoy that kind of trading. That's why I'm not so active. And similar to like earlier July, right? The price literally stuck at the resistance. It hasn't break, right? At that point, no matter what kind of trade you take, right, you just feel less secure. So personally, as I said, like, I mean, for Big Founder Trade, right, actually, it's just a platform for us to share our trades, right? So if I personally, I don't feel like trading, honestly, I don't I don't want to post, right? Hope that answers the question, right? I mean, if the time is right, like remember early June, right? When everything is okay, every day you wake up, you see a good market movement, right? You're happy to trade, you feel comfortable, right? That's the period I feel very, like, I will be very active, right? But if I look at the chart, every chart looks they are struggling, right? Then I don't like it. Yeah, like I really don't like to force a trade. Okay, Yoma, WVE, is it a token? Or is it a typo? You want to double check the thing you type? Okay, David, for those longer term spot like Ethereum, where or when will trigger your exit 100%? I already mentioned, right? My average entry for Ethereum is about 119 something, because I've been buying along the way around this area, right? So actually, at this very moment, that in that kind of situation where I'm seeing like a 99% kind of profit. So actually, I already took out about 35% of my position, right? But of course, if it hit 4K, then I'll be happier. Yeah. So because now it's about 80 something, right? If we hit 100%, it will be very nice, right? But if it doesn't, then okay, this is that, like, for Ethereum, this is the kind of situation, right? I will start to put a trade, like the stop loss already, because the stop loss, it will be a profit, right? But if it doesn't hit, so that means if it doesn't hit 4K, it comes back down, right? At any point in time, if it take a U-turn, I will be more than happy to just exit the whole position. It's just that I feel like with the upcoming bullish movement, I have higher expectation in Ethereum. That means, in a way, I feel like I can afford to be greedier on Ethereum. Does it make sense? Right. And any day now, any hour, any point now, I can exit 100%. Right. It just I'm trying to hold it a bit longer, see if we hit a nicer figure. Okay. Okay, any more questions? Okay, suddenly the chat so quiet. Or am I hand? Okay, because any more question? Because now it's already 10 o'clock. If no question coming in, then we will call it a day. Because after all, this is Friday. AVEX. Oh, that AVEX looks nice. Right, same. I mean, this, honestly, you see one thing about the big or mid cap, especially those slightly more older coins, right? Their movement at this moment, right? You realize their movement are really very, very similar already. Right? So same for AVEX, right? If this one close above, then upside is very nice, right? At least till here. Then if it doesn't break, then we simply need to wait for another retest. All right. So actually, as I said, based on the chart, like your ask I go through so far, right? You realize most of them either end of this Friday or next coming Monday, it will give us a clearer direction what to do later or next. Okay. For the weekly trade call, how long is a trade valid for? Okay, for weekly trade call, if you're referring to the ones we post on Discord, right? Those are most of the trade we zoom out, right? We look at least 4 hours time frame, right? Then because mostly are breakout trades, so the support or resistance level we see are from a bigger time frame. So I would say their validity is relatively longer. There isn't like an exact date, but until the price got triggered. Like so, for example, if I post the long above a resistance just now, Jasmine, right? If anyway, same lah. So assume if let's say I put a trigger, I put a trigger price here, like say long above 26.68. If it went above, then it got triggered, right? So after that, then this price point will become invalid. But until then, this you can still keep it in your watch list and monitor. Dinesh, when I view the chart on daily time frame, how far do you zoom out to see the SNR? I mean, some charts actually, the moment you look at it, you don't even need to zoom out a lot, right? It's already pretty clear here. And always remember, right? SNR is not a line; it's always a zone, right? So, you don't even need to zoom out to last year. You can already see a SR here, pretty clear, right? If let's say but of course, if let's say when you look at the chart, it break above, that means you see the candle no longer trade below this SNR, right? You want to see, okay, where's my next resistance? Then you need to look left more, right? Then that's where I find this range. Yeah, like that. Okay, plus minus around this level. So if I don't see anything on the left as reference, then I zoom out a bit more until I find the next reference point. that clear? Do I close my position within the day or leave it overnight? No, most of the time, if depends on what time I open the trade. If I open in the evening or night time, then most likely it will be left overnight, right? If let's say I open in the morning, then usually it will conclude before the end of the day. So depends on the time I open the trade. Can we find a trade to enter now? I just said this Friday, be very cautious, right? The down might happen over the weekend. Wait until Monday lah. Says, I have problem zooming in and out of the chart to draw the support and resistance. Like if I zoom out, I can't see candle stick as nice as yours. Are you using a monitor or using a laptop? I mean, because you can maybe double check the setting of your trading view. I mean, this one I'm not so sure. Okay, usually for me, at least how many S&R points do I take into account? At least 3, right? Like 1, 2, 3, yeah, quite obvious, right? 1, 2, 3, even 4, 5, but close at least 3. Yeah, please always contact our very helpful ops team, right? I'm pretty sure they will help you look into it. Do I draw lines or region for SNR? I just show you I'm drawing a zone, a region for SNR. Right. What are my rules for entering a trade? Very simple, right? Basically, if for breakouts, for most of the time I'm trading very simple trades, right? Like along with the trend or breakouts, right? The rules that we already learned in AT video, right? Nothing new. Like John, what kind of trade, what kind of strategy you usually do? Then what are your trading rules? Or there's any particular strategy you want to ask about? Oh. Am I looking at the wrong window? Yeah. Well, I got alert ran. Okay. Yeah, give me a second. Let me close this trade. It's already 10 plus. Give me 1 second. Let me close my trade. Because I didn't move my stop loss just now. I want to secure my profit. Yeah, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay, done. All right. Okay, question. Where's the tool to draw the box with the word SNR? This one is, it's not a tool. Okay, where's my trading view? Basically, you know where to draw a rectangle, right? Right. Okay, so basically this is my own setting. So basically you draw a rectangle, right? And then you set the text you want to put, and then you save the template. So for me, all these are template I draw from, I design myself. So retracement zone, support and resistance, right? I choose a color, I choose what text I want to put, what are the outline color, filling colors, right? Then if let's say for retracement zone, then I put yellow color, then with a midline dotted, blah, blah, blah. All this you just create yourself and save them as different templates. So when you use, you just use accordingly. Right? Same as me using different color for different purpose, like entries and stop loss. Okay. Victor, what is my view if Powell resign? Wow, politics, I really don't know. Because honestly, you think about it, right? Powell, does it have impact in crypto? I mean, in every like trading asset, yes, right? Basically, like, you know, whenever like what's that? Interest rate or any like, you know, like CPI and any index number changes, right? It affects the market a bit. But is it as impactful as the other person, right? Our DT, right? Not that much, right? So honestly, if you talk about politics impact, right? I agree there's impact, right? It's just that honestly, it's not. I start to like having difficulty to take the both of them seriously, right? So of course, do we avoid those announcement days into trading because we want to avoid like volatilities? Of course, right? But after whatever result come out, after you know the volatility ends, you know everything, all the dust set, we just trade accordingly. Can we see that recent many coins have reached the bottom and start to pump? I would say they reached the cap of the bottom. Whether they pump or get rejected by the cap of the bottom, we need to wait for it to show first. That's why I say don't rush. Face laptop. Okay, then in that case, please contact our ops people, like show them. We have like tech support sessions, so you can show your trading view, then they can help you see through what is wrong with the setting or whatsoever. Okay. David, market having correction now. If we look at 1 hour time frame, it's not a sharp drop. Correction maybe, yeah, it's dropping a little bit. But just at 10 plus, I just want to close the trade. If not later after, because I didn't have the time to adjust my stop loss lah. So if later it come back all the way hit my stop loss, I'll be very sad. Okay, correction, I wouldn't say. Let's say Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin. I mean, if we talk about correction, right? Personally, if it comes down this range, that means come down from 1,000. Like correction, I would say is like retest and following support, or even have a deeper correction. That means next support. Right now, it's more like a consolidation. It's just ranging. I wouldn't call it as a correction yet. But shorter time frame, right? Bitcoin does look a bit bearish, right? That's why I say this Friday, please. I mean, it's already almost 11. Let's not, right? Just wait for Monday. I feel like I have funny feeling that this weekend won't be very peaceful, right? Let's not take unnecessary risk. Jiayu, I joined late. Can show the slide again, which I missed. I didn't show any slide. John, like to know more about long with the trend. Do you wait for price to bounce off the trend line or wait for the price to bounce off the retracement zone? For me, I personally use trend line and support resistance more. As I mentioned, right? For me, I'm really very simple. For me, support resistance. Trend line also support resistance, right? Trend line is also a support or resistance line, right? Wow. All right. Just hit your stop loss on Jasmine. You're asking because you're inside the trade. Okay. Sorry to hear that. Jasmine, you're lying, Jasmine. Where's your stop loss? You're trading on 1 hour or 4 hour. Come. Since you're talking about Jasmine, what's your entry? What's your stop loss? Okay. Welcome, John. Jenny, want to share your trade? Is trade no? Jenny, are you a CRP student? What are the GIU 21? Are you CRP student? Maru, welcome. Yeah, I mean, if CRP, what are the 5 rules to trade along with the trend? Right. What I mean by me focusing on SIR is, from rule number 1 to number 5, right? My priority is always supply resistance, right? And price movement. But following all those other indicators, the other 3 stars, I also wait for them to align, right? Okay, any more questions? Wonder Boy. I just come across my life crypto trading. I only day trade stock and I'm considering trading crypto. What best platform you will recommend? I based in USA. And I based in Singapore. So personally, I use Binance. In USA, honestly, I'm not so sure. Please check I'm pretty sure there'll be better recommendation because honestly, I don't know based on regulation what are the platform out there available, right? Maybe look for like a US based trader, right? Get the best advice from them. Okay. All right, so you're welcome. Okay, any more questions, guys? Welcome. Okay. Welcome, Andrew. So, okay, let's wait for 1 more minute. By 10:35, if nobody asks questions, then we'll call it a night. Is that right? Thanks, everyone. Thanks for attending tonight. It's my first YouTube live. right? I'm pretty sure you can tell because at the beginning I was like, ooh, very unfamiliar with everything. Okay, but I hope you find something useful. You enjoy tonight's session. All right. And if you're a CRP student, hope that give you a little bit of motivation or help you sort of like clear your mind to prepare for coming weeks or months better. All right. Because we are all in this together. And let's say based on my assumption of bull market really coming, the last few months of the bull cycle, right? Let's ride it all the way to the end and enjoy the best of it. All right. All the best, everyone. Okay, thanks everyone. Let's call it a night. Good night.
We've got some amazing people, speakers who have actually brought along, many of them are multi-millionaires, right, who trade with millions of dollars. And the whole idea behind the future is very, very simple. I really want y'all to learn, I want y'all to earn, I want y'all to really understand the mindsets of what it takes to be able to trade bigger sums of money.